Gemini, welcome to your reading. This is going to be for February. We are going to pull 4 main cards and 1 for your overall energy. So we're doing love, health, wealth, and home to make sure I was saying them in the right order. So love, health, wealth, and home. And at the end, I'm going to pull you 1 or 2 or 3. We'll see. Oracles. I don't really have any prep, any intro. I just did Pisces, and Pisces, I was talking to them about the 12th house a little bit, and then I thought, probably that is related to the fact that Gemini is my 12th house. So the 12th house is ruled by, it's a Pisces house, right? And for me, it's Gemini. If you don't know astrology or that's confusing, sorry. But it made sense. Okay, we'll do Gemini next. All right, so with that said, I'm just going to shuffle up the cards and pull your spread. For Gemini Spirit, give me 1 card for love for Gemini for February. Okay, for love, it's coming out in reverse. For health Spirit, I'm not going to do this every time. Oh my gosh. All right, coming out in reverse. Wealth for Gemini, please. Wealth for Gemini. All right, something's coming out upright. And for the home, please. All right, gotta get it. And it's reverse again. And the moon in reverse. All right. Let's get a card for the overall energy for Gemini, please. Overall energy. Playing it as it fell. King of Swords. All right, something is happening. 7 of Swords at the bottom of the deck with, oh, interesting, with the High Priestess and the Empress. Okay. So I'm going to clarify, Gemini, but right away toward the end here, I'm getting a weird vibe of like secrets, lies, potentially you uncovering something. Well, we're going to look into it, but I mean, I guess the 7 of Swords could be a strategy. You are coming out as the King of Swords for your overall energy. Okay, so this is a really strong position. I like to see this. So I like this, but yeah, I don't know. There could be some sort of strategy that you're implementing. It feels a little rough, Gemini. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't. And I feel like with the King of Swords coming out here, you could be part of the problem, because the King of Swords, while he's strong, right, he's a king, so it's not the worst energy that you could be showing up in, but he's a little cold, he's a little regimented, and for me, this is Aquarius energy, but it's coming out for you, so I'm taking it as you, because you are an air sign, just like Aquarius is. But he's, especially right now, he is coming off to me a little bit rigid. He's definitely a card of structure and routine and logic, but you know, he's also associated with stuff like like the military and boot camp, and you know, that's the kind of the vibe I'm getting right now, and I don't like it. And you're, first of all, you know, you're a mutable sign, so I don't necessarily think that is advantageous for you to adopt that sort of mentality or that sort of flow either. You know, you're not meant to be imprisoned. Your mind is supposed to be free to flow because you rule that, and well, you rule the throat chakra as well. So communication should be free to flow with you as well as intellect. But when I think of Gemini, I think of sort of like, well, it's actually similar in my mind, in my take. Okay, this is totally just my opinion. I sort of associate Sagittarius with a similar energy, but you guys are on the same axis, so it makes sense to me. But I sort of think of like the Nutty Professor, or that guy, oh, I don't know who he is, but he's like a really famous meme where he's like, has this like cork board behind him with all these like papers, and you know, I don't know. I want to say it's like the, oh, I don't know. I'm going to get it wrong. I could look it up really quick, but I'm not going to do that. Point is that my take on Gemini, given all of its characteristics, is sort of like this chaotic flow of ideas and creativity, and somehow it usually comes together, right? Like it doesn't, it's like sort of like how it doesn't make sense to some people. I mean, I'm a Pisces, okay, so I'm mutable water. I get that. Like I understand that sort of chaos, but it's like from an outsider perspective it might not make sense, but like it's like the person who has, you know, just this unorganized office, but like they know exactly where everything is. Finally, it came out of my mouth. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like organized chaos. Only you know. Okay, anyway. My point is, I feel like it could be you coming out in such a strong position with what I'm seeing at the present moment as sort of negative cards makes me kind of think that we need to take some accountability here, or ownership in this reading. I am jumping the gun because I haven't clarified yet. And certainly if we can blame it on somebody else, I will, okay? But that's just my first impression. And there can possibly be some underhanded stuff going on here with the Seven of Swords and the High Priestess. I mean, you could just be coming up with some sort of secret plan or strategy that you're not sharing with anyone, and what that pertains to, I don't know. But I mean, it could also have something to do with someone like telling a lie and keeping it a secret, or if that's not you, you could be uncovering a lie or a secret at this time, for better or worse. We got the moon here in the home, so it could have something to do with your home. Might not even be, okay, I don't want you to freak out. It might not be a person. It could just be something in your home, right? Like there's secret stuff, I'm sure, lurking in my house that I don't know about, right? Like today I felt like the water pressure on my sink was really low in my kitchen, and I'm asking myself, like, has it always been this low? And I checked the other faucets in the house and they seem fine. So I don't know, maybe my memory is just like remembering it normal, but it seems really low. Anyway, something like that, right? All right, so let's get into it and clarify. So we have the Lovers reversed coming out in your love sector, okay? So first of all, Gemini, the Lovers card is your energy, and it's coming out reversed. So at a very rudimentary level, I could say that you, if you are, well, whether you are or aren't, you might not be too into partnership at this time, okay? You might not be interested in being with anyone or connecting with anyone, whether you're single or not. If you're in a partnership, I feel like you might not be into it. You might not be committed to it, or I don't know, you might not be showing up to it. On a deeper level, this card is not called the Lovers, it's called the Honeymoon. So I'm getting like the honeymoon is over. Which is a valid meaning for the Lovers card in reverse. So anyway, on a deeper level, there could be trust issues, and we kind of looked at that. So you might not be on the same page. You might not be seeing eye to eye. That's pretty much what I've gotten so far just off of that. There could be also an aspect of like being with someone for the wrong reasons, because the Lovers card is about a choice. It's making a choice. There's one obvious choice, and then there's one obviously wrong choice, right? I don't have the card. It's in here somewhere. So that's coming out. Let's clarify. Can you clarify the Lovers for me for Gemini? All right, the Devil. One more. Give me one more, please. Seven of Wands. Okay. Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So right away, the Devil coming out for me says, first of all, you could be dealing with a Capricorn, which oddly, I find that Geminis and Capricorns do often go together. I'm not sure how that makes sense to me, but I guess it can make sense. It's like an opposites attract sort of thing. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's right away telling me that what I was saying about the choices could be correct, right? That one or both of you are choosing to be together for the wrong reasons. Something like this. Don't invent things, okay? If they don't exist in your partnership, don't put them there. I'm not trying to create problems. I'm just trying to help you. All right, so if that's not the case, don't take it. The whole thing might not be for you at all. The Devil card with the Lovers in reverse can also speak to me about sort of superficiality or having a sex-based relationship. which certainly a lot of people have that, okay? Like, I don't necessarily, it's not my jam, but I see that a lot where people are connecting primarily over like physical attraction and sexual attraction, and that's all. And then they live their lives outside of each other, and whatever, if that works, that works. I'm not here to judge that. But with the Seven of Wands coming out, okay, the Seven of Wands is almost like the opposite of a lot of what I just said. The Seven of Wands is about conviction. It's standing up for something when you know that, it's like knowing that you know, being being solid in your principles. So I'm not sure which way that goes. I mean, immediately, like, face value, like, I just don't really want to say this, but I guess I will. Face value, this to me feels like fighting for something that you know isn't right for you. Okay? All right. Two of Pentacles. Okay. Well, some of you could need to like stand up for fairness in the connection, right? Some of you maybe feel like you aren't getting back as much as you put in. All right, but it could be vice versa. With the King of Swords in your overall energy, like I said, like there's an element. These are the readings that I like to do, okay? I like to do accountability readings. I like to do confrontational readings. I have a Mercury in Aries, so I enjoy, whether it's, you know, the querent or somebody showing up in their energy, I like to confront these things, okay? But for some reason, I'm not in that mood today. So I'm like tiptoeing. I don't know what that's about, but I thought I'd bring it up. It might have something to do with what you're feeling or with what someone else is feeling. I'm not really sold on who's who here, and it could be because it's flip-flopping for different people. But I do want to say though, with this energy, it's giving me this sense of like King of Swords, Seven of Wands, Two of Pentacles, the Devil, okay? It's giving me this sense of like potentially selfishness, where someone's like nickel and diming, okay? This is triggering for me because this reminds me of my ex, who I would always say like had a secret spreadsheet where he didn't, trust me, he wasn't sophisticated or organized enough or smart enough to do this, but I would joke that he had a secret spreadsheet where he wrote down all of his receipts of everything that he would spend, whatever, and then like every month he would like total it up or whatever and then have a mental breakdown. Okay, that's what this is kind of making me think. And oddly enough, I can also relate to this a little bit with my dad, who was a Gemini. He was quite a tyrant when it came to certain things, especially money. And it's just really interesting that this is like reminding me of that, to be honest. So I'm just going to tell you about a little bit about it. It was like kind of what I was saying in the beginning. He had a very rigid idea of how things were supposed to go, how things were supposed to look, okay? And that's one thing, Gemini, I will call you out on. Every Gemini I've ever known, pretty much, has been very concerned about what things look like to other people who oftentimes have nothing to do with your life, shouldn't have a say in your life or an opinion, and people that you shouldn't give a shit about. But for some reason, you're very concerned with that often, okay? And my dad was a Gemini, and he was like that too. And unfortunately for him, he got a firstborn daughter who didn't give a fuck about anything like that. So I was fun for him. And most of the time we did have fun. We had a very good relationship for the most part. But so I want to kind of bring up that tyrannical energy that I feel here, and how I personally can relate to it, okay? I think perhaps we're going a little bit off the rails here. But there could be aspects here of, like I said, this doesn't have to be you. It could be somebody else. One or both of you, though, I do feel like is a little bit nitpicky, a little bit, and yeah, the devil card, a little bit over concerned, potentially, with things that don't actually matter, right? Things that should be inconsequential. And one of those things, in my humble opinion, is how much money somebody is spending within the connection, because if you want to be in that connection and if you're committed to that connection, but we do have the Lovers in reverse here, so I'm questioning that. If you want to be in the connection, you want to build this life, okay, I don't know what's like step you're at here, like this could be dating, marriage, right, anywhere in between, but if you're really committed to that connection, like what you spend within it shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be a focus, because you're spending it on your life. And if you're dividing it up, see, and this is something, I could go back and talk about my ex again. This is something that not everyone agrees on, I guess. But if you're dividing it up into, well, this is your expense and this is my expense, and no, these are our expenses, all right? So you have to make a decision, or somebody does, I feel. You have to make a decision about whether or not you're a team, or if this is some like selfish, self-interested situation. Okay, whether that's you or somebody else, I feel like that could be an issue here. For some of you, you might just have to stand up for the fact that you're not getting what you put in back from this person, or vice versa, flip it, put yourself where you fit, right? Or take yourself completely out if you don't. Vice versa, this person might feel like they're not getting back anything on par with the amount of effort that they put in, and it could have something to do with money. But, you know, as a reminder, not everything that we put into a connection is monetized. It's or necessarily valued, but that does not mean that it does not have value, right? especially when it comes to things around the house, raising children, taking care of the children, doing labor. I guess a lot of times that falls on the men, but like doing labor, fixing things, like sometimes they don't get credit for the fact that they know how to do that and they took care of it. Right? So I feel like those things are similar. Mowing the lawn, right? I'm not sure how much focus those things should really be getting, but I feel like it could be an issue that needs to be talked about, and maybe there's something underlying this, right? A lot of times issues that are expressed come out that way when the issue is really something different, right? And with the Lovers coming out in reverse in the Devil card here, I do think that there could be a sexual element coming into play. I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions or imprint any of my biases onto it, but as an example, this could be one person saying that they're not getting enough sexual attention, and the other person could be saying, well, I don't have anything left to give to you, sir, because I am too busy and tired and worn out to fucking think about that, because these are all the things that I'm doing. Okay? It's just an inkling that I'm having. Okay. In your health, we have the Princess of Wands in reverse. As I was saying, you might be tired. You might not have energy. One thing I would bring up with this is that you might not be taking action if you do think you have a health concern or an inkling about something. Okay, we have the Moon here in reverse, and it's in your home, but it's here on the table in your main spread, so I'm going to bring it up. The Moon in reverse can be about like sort of ignoring your intuition, not paying attention, and it's, well, I guess I don't assume that I'm reading for women, but I often do, because most consumers of tarot are women, but that doesn't necessarily stand true on my channel. But still, I can't help but think that I should tell you, especially if you are a woman, right, a person in a female body, you might want to check on those aspects of your health specifically, with these cards just staring me in the face right now. But certainly this could be other health issues too that you might not be addressing, or you might not be overlooking. So you might not be taking care of yourself, and you might be ignoring an intuition that you have about your health that you do need to take action on, okay? But otherwise, this is just, to me, a card of being like worn out, not having the energy. A lot of times we know what we need to do to better take care of ourselves, but we just don't have the fucking will or the energy to do it, right? All right, let's, I don't know why my nose has been running. I think I'm allergic to one of these candles. Oh, and that one went out. I think I'm allergic to candles. Or potentially sage, is what's bothering me. So I don't know, my nose has been, it's been running for every reading. So I'm like sniffling and it's annoying. Can we clarify the Page of Wands in reverse for Gemini, please? Today, please. Thank you. right, we'll take all of these. Magician, 9 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles. All right, T. Judgment, 5 of Swords at the bottom of the deck with the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, that's a lot. One thing I'm going to say before I forget is that Page of Wands reversed can speak to a lack of passion, a lack of motivation, and things like this, which that's bouncing off the Lovers in reverse to me. So, I mean, so right away, okay, I'm getting depression. Magician, that's your card. All of these are upright. However, 9 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles. I feel like some of you are feeling insecure. You're feeling, how do I say? You're feeling like you don't have the support that you need, okay? Judgment, 5 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles at the bottom. You could feel like other people are sort of sabotaging you or tearing you down. This could be affecting your health. If that's happening, it could be tearing down your health, okay? You could feel like, well, I could go 2 ways on this. You could feel like your environment's a little bit unstable and it's not conducive to you feeling good or having energy. On the flip side of that, you could feel a little bit cabin fever, stuck, a little stir crazy, and that could be bringing you down. There's so many issues just flooding at me, okay? But I think I covered them all, like, so where do we begin? So first of all, if you do feel like there's something in your environment, people specifically, I feel like, but it could be something else in your environment that is sabotaging you, that's not supporting you, people that aren't supporting you, for example, in the way that they should be. It's important to set boundaries with those specific people, but also I feel like if it's possible to reassemble a more supportive environment, that would be my guidance. Call in support if you can. If you can't, you can't. I don't know, you know, I'm not going to assume that we all have this, you know, entire network of support. I know I don't. So, but there could be a need for that, and that's up to you, for you to be accountable to admit or not that you're not actually voicing your needs and concerns and reaching out, okay? For others of you, like I said, I think it could be like a sense of cabin fever, or a sense of things being the same, being trapped in your space. Like I notice this 9 of Pentacles, she's looking out the window, right? She's wanting to go away, and I don't know, there isn't anything particularly interesting to me about the scenery back there. I thought it was waves in like the ocean, but it's actually not. Those are clouds, but take it however, right? So I am getting kind of a sense, like a sense of like too much stability, which is making me feel like it's boring, right? But also for some of you, it's just it's a stubbornness for some of you, where you want to be independent. You want to do things on your own and tackle everything on your own. And you might even be blaming other people for not helping you, but I think it's actually like you who is kind of setting like a boundary that this is your domain and this is your stuff and your problem and you're going to take care of it all by yourself. Things like this, okay? So if this is something you're doing, I just need you to think about that and consider it. If it's not, I need you to ignore what I'm saying, all right? And finally, with the Magician, I feel like there's potentially part of what's contributing to the core issue here, which is the Page of Wands in reverse, right? You feeling uninspired, tired, whatever. It's partly because you're not utilizing tools that are at your disposal, right? You're just not being creative like you are, like you normally would be. You're being too regimented. Your mind is too, I feel like your mind is too rigid at this time. It's not allowing you to be your authentic self, which is what could be causing all of these like upside down cards and this like pent up, right, feeling that I'm getting, because something is limiting you. And with you coming out with the King of Swords, I feel like it's you. I feel like it's you, your own ideas and your own hang-ups, your own like lies that you tell yourself, right? I don't know the full extent of what all we're talking about here, but I do feel like part of it is getting creative. Part of it is thinking outside of the box. Or I don't know, picking up something that could help you. I'm trying to think of ideas. Like, I guess this is kind of a stupid example, but like what's coming to mind is like, you know, if you're stuck in your house, you have cabin fever, whatever, try to get outside. First of all, try to go somewhere. Like if you have a gym membership, okay, I mean, I don't know what the health concern is, so maybe you don't even want to go to the gym. I don't know what we're talking about, but if this is an energy issue, okay, let's just say it's an energy issue. Get outside the house, go to the gym. So that breaks up this cabin fever, that breaks up this doldrum energy. It gets you out of the house. It lets you go somewhere else that's not your home. And it also, you know, you're going to the gym, which exercise, it actually improves your energy, it improves your sleep. And it might not feel like that at the beginning or for that first, you know, half hour or whatever, but it actually does. So conversely, if you literally can't get out of your house, right, your car is broken, maybe there's 5 feet of snow outside of your house, you can't open the door, you're stuck inside, I mean, I don't know. And, you know, maybe you just need to get creative with your activities indoors, right? Play a game where you, I don't know, run up and down the stairs, I don't know, right? If you have kids, play hide and seek and just run around. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm lacking myself in creativity right now to give you examples, but things like this. This reading is running way longer than the others already, I can tell. So that's what I got there, Gemini. I talked a lot about that. If I already forgot half of what I said, so rewind it if you forgot as well. Okay, so in your wealth section, I probably should not have even clarified this at all. In your wealth section, we have the Four of Swords. It's upright, so that's cool, but it's also not that great. The Four of Swords to me can be a card of, well, laziness, okay? And once again, I feel bad. I don't know who I'm talking to. Once again, it doesn't have to be you. If you live in a home with somebody else and, you know, they're responsible for your wealth, maybe it's not laziness, but it's like a lack of activity, and maybe that's not their fault. Maybe that's not your fault. I don't know who's to blame here or whatever. It might not even be that. But the Four of Swords to me is like a lack of activity in wealth. Possibly. Okay? It can also be the complete opposite of that, which is like overburdened, overworked, exhaustion. This card here, you probably can't see it very well, but there's a lady laying down in the daffodils, and that's it. She's like laying down in the daffodils. So for some of you, this could have something to do with seasonal work, because daffodils make me think of spring, like March. It's actually my favorite flower. And so some of you could have some kind of seasonal job, or your partner, whatever, might have a seasonal job, and they could be, like I said, it could go either way for me. They could be lacking funds at this time, lacking money, kind of laying around, or one or both of you could be overworked at this time. I don't know, you know, whatever. Let's clarify. All right. Knight of Cups. Four of Cups. Seven of Pentacles. The Lover's at the bottom of the deck, so there you are again with the Page of Swords. The Knight of Cups. Well, that... well, this doesn't necessarily change much for me. The Knight of Cups can also be like, I mean, he's a good card, okay, there's nothing wrong with him, but clarifying what I was already saying, he can be sort of lazy to me. He can be sort of a dreamer who doesn't really take action. So there's that. I do feel like some of you might be dealing with maybe somebody who is a lot of big dreams, big talk, no action. And I mean, if you're partnered up with this person and letting them impact your finances, I feel like that could be an issue. Or this is you, like I said, accountability, right? So there's that. I do think there's a little bit of like inaction here potentially, but with the Four of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles too coming out here, I feel like I'll show them to you. I feel like there could also be like an aspect of waiting, and what I said about like seasonal work stands with these cards. I feel like some of you, maybe you were laid off, or maybe you're waiting to hear from somebody about a contract or about starting a job. Could be, I mean, could be school or an internship, whatever. I don't know where you're at, but yeah, I feel like some of you might be like waiting, or you could be expecting something to come in financially that is not here yet. And for those of you though who are feeling overburdened by work and a little maybe anxious, You might be itching to like leave or change your job situation, whatever. I feel like that is also reinstating that fact. You might be asking yourself, is this worth it? And on the positive side of things, the Knight of Cups can indicate a proposal being offered to you. So something nice coming in. Like I said, he is a dreamy energy. Some of you might want to pursue something more creative. So, I mean, this doesn't feel like catastrophic, right? I do just feel like there's a little bit of extremism here when it comes to finances. And like I said, that could just be because you work a seasonal job, or because your income is seasonally affected. So you might have part of the year, like if you're a tax professional, for example, you might work really, really hard for 4 or 5 months of the year and then not work, right? So this could speak to aspects like that. But regardless of what your situation is, I feel like ultimately you're asking yourself, is this worth it? Do I want to keep accepting this reality? And you know, that's up to you. That's up to you to ultimately make a choice. Page of Swords, Lover's card. These are both your energy. It's kind of up to you here. Yeah, Hierophant. Hierophant. I mean, you can choose to level up. You can choose to start exploring what actually suits you, what actually makes you happy, not burdened or not, you know, disappointed. And you just can make different choices. That's up to you. So in your home, we have the Moon in reverse. Can you clarify the Moon in reverse for me for Gemini in February? Thank you. King of Swords. One more. Six of Cups. Temperance. Death at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. Well, like I said, we got the King of Swords coming out again with the Moon in reverse in your home. And we're clarifying with the King of Swords again. So here you are again. I'm taking it as you because you already showed up as the King of Swords once. Six of Cups. And Temperance. So this is, it's a little weird, and this might only be for like one person, but immediately what I'm getting, Moon in reverse, King of Swords, Six of Cups, Temperance. Okay, so the Moon in reverse, like I said, can be a card of discovering secrets or discovering what is hidden. Okay? And the King of Swords can be an expert. He can be a professional, someone who knows a lot of things. And with the Six of Cups and Temperance, like I said, this might only be for one person, okay? But if there was ever water in your home, a leak, a flood, even maybe before you lived there, maybe you don't know about it. If there's any water issues in your home, I want you to call in a professional to inspect your home for damage, especially structural damage, because when I saw the moon in reverse initially, I thought it was the Tower. Okay, so for structural damage, but also mold. Okay, that might only be one person, but I have to say it because that's immediately what's hitting me. Regardless, you might want to call in a professional for some other issue if you suspect another issue. The moon is in reverse, so that is an indication of not trusting your intuition. If your intuition tells you that there is something in your home that needs to be looked at by a professional and you're ignoring it, okay, this is the time to address it. And I'm just going to share this story with you because so you know it's real. I lived in a condo with my daughter when she was really small. I think she was like 2. We had a condo. And 1 year, and we only lived there for like 2 years or less, okay? We got sick, okay? Both of us got sick and we could not get better. Me, being intuitive and more often than not trusting my intuition, I suspected allergies, I suspected mold. We had no pets in our home at that time, and at that time I didn't know that I was allergic to cats, but I am. I'm allergic to a ton of things. And it turns out my daughter and I are both highly allergic to mold. Well, I followed my intuition. I had her father come over and get a ladder and look up in our attic because there was nowhere else that I could see. I mean, I could see everything else. There was no mold in the basement. There was no mold or anything I could see in the living space. My gut said attic. I had him look up in the attic, covered in mold. Turns out that the condo had not installed enough vents, air vents in the roof, and it's probably all of those units in that whole complex, but they had to, I mean, of course I fucking spoke up about it. They had to do a mold abatement in, I think, my unit and another unit or 2, but I was moving out. I moved out. We were already moving out and selling it. But I just wanted to share that story with you because, once again, I followed my intuition. I found the mold. It, I guess, maybe was taken care of. I don't think they did a very good job, but we moved out. All right. So anyway, off of that, we have this King of Swords coming out again. If this is not an expert that you need to call into your home, like I feel it is for some of you, this is you again showing up very regimented, very rigid, and up against the Six of Cups, which is a card of playfulness, a card of children, a card of protection. So some of you may feel a little overprotective of your children at this time. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but I do think that there's potentially something to do here, a clash, okay? A clash between regimentation and rigidity and childlike playfulness. How do I explain what I'm feeling? You might be being too strict, or somebody else might be being too strict, too stern, too, once again, regimented, inside the box thinking, this is how it has to go, this is how it has to be. And I mean, you're setting yourself up for failure, okay? Like, just, I guess maybe that works for some people. I don't really think it does, to be honest. Once again, I'm not trying to judge anyone, but I feel like you're setting yourself up for a lot of failure and frustration most of the time. If you're expecting things to run on a strict schedule that you decide is, you know, my way or the highway type schedule, then you're just setting yourself up to be angry and frustrated. And right, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy or something. Not really, but because then we have temperance here. Temperance is about flow, very similar to the Six of Cups here. This is about flow. This is about taking it easy. Some of you, I mean, at face value, very boring, but for some of you, this could be simply saying that your home right now at this time is your sanctuary, and it's the only place you feel really at ease and really comfortable. And, right, like it's the only thing you feel like you have under control, where you feel like you are solid, for some of you. But for others of you, I do feel like there's a conflict here between going with the flow, understanding that if there are multiple people living in your house, that they are individual people with their own flow, with their own cycles, with their own rhythm, and that might not conform to what you want it to be. Okay? Once again, I speak from a place of not knowing what the problems are or who you're dealing with or what you're going through, but this is what I'm seeing. Immediately, this King of Swords energy is coming off way too rigid, way too boxed in, especially for a Gemini reading. I understand that every Gemini has different other placements in their chart, right? My dad, for example, had a lot of Taurus and Virgo in his chart, which made him a little bit more rigid and, you know, inflexible. But Gemini energy at its face value is flexibility of mind. And I feel like a lot of you are not in that space at all. I feel like your mind is very inflexible, and I think that it is self-sabotaging you. We saw the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you're causing a lot of your own problems with your preconceived notions of how life is supposed to be, of how other people are supposed to be. Obviously not every single one of you, but that's an overall theme that I'm kind of feeling here. So my hope is that most of you are feeling content in your home. You're feeling like everything makes sense in your home, right? You're playing with your children. You're going with the flow. That's a sense of playfulness and happiness for you, etc., etc., because that would be beautiful. But my suspicion and my inklings are that that is not the case for a lot of you. For a lot of you, there's stuff lurking in the home, potentially secrets that you don't know about, or stuff that you're just not willing to confront. Could be related to children. Maybe they have some sort of condition. With the moon and the temperance card, to me, that could be hormones. So this is not medical advice. This is just advice. potentially there's a rhythm going on with a child. Could be hormonal. And hormonal doesn't have to be like puberty, right? My kid, for example, has a hormone issue. She has type 1 diabetes, and so that gives her a problem with insulin, which is not produced right in her pancreas. Insulin is a hormone. So her pancreas is broken. It's actually an autoimmune condition. It's not really her pancreas, but anyway, cells are being destroyed, and then her pancreas is not able to create insulin. Once again, insulin's a hormone. So I'm just bringing this up because that's my life experience. And any kind of hormonal imbalance can cause disruption in a child. This could be you too. Maybe you have a hormonal disruption, okay? Take it whoever you think it might apply to, but the Six of Cups here is about children. So I'm saying that because if you're a parent, then it's your responsibility to check on the children, right? They can't do it for themselves. But certainly you should do it for yourself as well if you suspect. And I feel like you do suspect. Moon in reverse. Whatever's going on here in the home, you intuitively already know. You're just not acknowledging it, or you're not picking up on it. Like there's a little voice or a little, something or someone is telling you what's going on, but you're not hearing it because, King of Swords, you're too regimented. You're too focused on the logical answer, the black and white answer, when the real answer is gray. Okay? So whatever we're talking about here, that's exactly what's up. The answer's in the gray. You're looking at black and white only. Okay? So let's clarify your overall energy. Okay, I lied. I actually went and got fresh coffee because my coffee was cold and I didn't know I was going to be going at your reading for this long. So let's redirect. We're clarifying the King of Swords. Thank you so much. The Sun. Nice. One more. Knight of Swords. Well, I definitely think this is you. Give me one more. Oh. Eight of Pentacles. Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck with the Five of Pentacles. And the Two of Swords. Well, that kind of feels like what I was saying. Right, where was it? At some point in your reading, I was getting something about jumping to conclusions. And I don't remember, and I didn't say it. And I don't know where it was. But it's coming up here. Eight of Pentacles, clarifying. Oh, we have the Sun, so this is nice. This is lovely. This is kind of what I'm feeling in your home a little bit. Eight of Pentacles and Knight of Swords. Okay, it's kind of what I'm feeling in your home a little bit. Like that there needs to be some sort of clarity gained on something. There's too much regimentation for sure. I think somewhat you and or someone else might be working too hard, or there might be too much emphasis on a routine. We already talked about that. And then the Knight of Swords is kind of about jumping to conclusions about something when you don't have all the information. And that could be a source of multiple problems here, okay? For me, the Knight of Swords is Gemini energy. So he's about taking action before you have all the facts, before you have all the knowledge. And what else can I say about this? Let me show you what I'm seeing. Okay. Let me show you what I'm seeing in these cards. It's going to take me a second to assemble them. And then this guy here presiding over it all. Okay. And what I'm seeing is the Sun, which is the best card in the deck. The Sun is about happiness, joy, freedom, expression, right? And it's being blocked, right? There's a barrier being put up here between the Sun and the Knight of Swords by the Eight of Pentacles and the King of Swords, which to me can be similar in that they are very focused, regimented, routinized, and, well, with the Knight of Swords actually as well, one-track minded, inflexible, and I feel like it's almost like all of these cards are in opposition to the Sun. And once again, the Sun is also about clarity, healing. Okay? It's about, well, enthusiasm with this Page of Wands in reverse. So I got to go back to what I was saying before. Don't remember where it came up, but I feel like your overall energy, Gemini, is kind of being in your own way. I almost feel a sense of like someone like spazzing out when anything happens that isn't planned. Does that make sense? And I understand that a lot of people have lives like that, where if something unplanned comes up, it ruins the whole day, so to speak, whatever. But that's how real life goes. Real life isn't planned. And if it is, and if you're committed to living a life like that, you're going to have to make a lot of really unpleasant sacrifices and compromises. And I guess if, that's your choice, that's fine. But like when it starts becoming everyone else's problem, which I kind of feel like it is for someone, for some of you, and then that, I mean, you can control yourself all day long, I suppose, if that's how you want to live, but you can't really control other people. And so, I don't know, that's just cautionary, I guess, potentially creating conflict with others, but I'd rather focus on you and just say that, you're kind of standing in the way of your own happiness, your own freedom, your own confidence, I don't know. That's what this feels like. Because you're too focused on something. Whether it's a routine, whether it's a success, like trying to accomplish a goal, or I don't know what. But there's too much regimentation here. There's too much inflexibility here. And I feel like there are various different aspects of your life that need more information before any action or decisions are made. So like a level of impatience and a lack of investigation being made, whether it be in a relationship dynamic, in your health, potentially, because I did say like you could be failing to take action or failing to look into something that you know might be a problem for you, ignoring your intuition. I do feel like it could be something in your home or in your family that's not being investigated, not being looked into. And then I do feel like some impatience here when it comes to finances. So those are the issues I'm seeing. I feel like there needs to be conversation, investigation, perhaps expert opinions called in on certain issues. King of Swords can be a doctor as well, so he's not necessarily just like a home inspector or a plumber or a mold expert. Could be a doctor. And like, I guess the one thing I would say is that I don't think most of the problems that are here are that bad. I feel like they're being made worse by a lack of confrontation, a lack of expression, a lack of investigation. Okay? That's how I would wrap this up in a bow. All right, let's get an oracle. I'm pulling from the Enchanted Map oracle. What do we have for Gemini? Commitment at the bottom of the deck, which is 36 and has a star on it. I thought that was interesting because it reminds me of Spark, which is 34, and the card that slipped out for you. All right, so let's look at 34. Spark. So, you are a clear channel for divine creativity. For sure, I think Gemini is that. There's a spark of creativity in you, and you have every reason to move forward with optimism and hope. Open yourself to inspiration and allow life to show you its beauty and your part in co-creating it. This is the perfect time to give birth to an idea, start a new relationship or job, or begin an endeavor. Attraction is high as you connect with others who can co-create joyous experiences and join with you in expressing the finer aspects of life. Watching a spark turn to a flame and stoking that fire is a gratifying activity. I definitely think that a lot of you are missing your spark. And I definitely think that the reason that's happening is because you're not open to creativity, because creativity doesn't fit in a box. It's not inflexible, right? So creativity, and this is why this is so weird, because to me Gemini is very creative, one of the most creative signs in the zodiac, in my opinion, like up there with Leo and Pisces. So it's weird to me that this is a problem that I have to break down and explain to you right now. But I mean, I guess what I would say is that regimentation and inflexibility, in my opinion, come from a place of insecurity and fear. So maybe we should look at that, because I do have the Queen of Cups with the 5 of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So to me, this is like someone not wanting to see, how do I put this? Like not wanting to be left out in the cold, or not wanting to see something, being insecure. All right. Let's also pull from, what am I going to pull from? Let's pull from Believe in Your Own Magic, because I'm getting that vibe for you. For Gemini, please. Okay, we're getting number 39, raindrops. Interesting. Take a chance on them. Okay. That pulls me back to this Lovers in reverse here, where I feel like some of you are really closed off to relationships or to a person. All right, so take a chance on them. If anyone has a reason to keep their guard up, it's you. People have been known to mistreat you. And like any rational person, you finally got tired of it. Went back inside, locked the door, but you weren't supposed to stay out of the rain forever. No matter how terrifying the prospect may seem, you need to put yourself out there again. Whoever it is you're thinking of, they can be trusted to walk with you through the storm. Yeah. I don't necessarily think this is just a love context. I think this is life in general, Gemini. Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that being so regimented, being so perfectionistic, right, comes from a place of fear of making mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of ridicule, fear of being hurt, things like this. That's where it comes from. As a psychologist, I'm telling you. Usually that's where it's coming from. So I feel like this is speaking to your need to be able to trust the world, to trust other people. You don't need to control everything. You don't need to take charge of everything and dictate everything, right? All right. I love you guys. Happy February. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.